Bam, drum roll. Now B2B ecom are the leading way to do business with B2B companies, outpacing the personal sales that used to be a leader. And it has been, by a study by Mckenzie, defined that B2B e-commerce is the one way that the customers prefer to shop.
It's the most wanted
the
way.
most preferred way.
And why is this so? Any idea?
I'd say 41% say that it's the most effective sales route, and beating out in person, which is 37%.
And it's just
so it's a huge margin. And why? It's of course a lot of reasons, and one thing is of course the maturity and accessibility of the e-commerce solutions. So it's very much accessible. And a decade ago, it was still like the fax machine that was the go-to solution, and now people in general, because every purchaser or B2B customer is of course a person in his own regard, and they're also accustomed to good, fluent, efficient B2B solutions.
And they are also millennials that are just like, why would I call someone for this? Why can't I just do it in another way?
It's a generation shift, 100% agree, because some of the younger generations do not prefer the same channels as the previous generation, definitely. So it's a shift there. And as you mentioned, a lot of the millennials are now on C-level positions as managers with budget and decision powers to do this. So I think it's a natural transition of things. And the fax machines are quite rare nowadays. So I think it's a good one.
Yeah. So some points to take away from this. We have 4 points, and I'm going to start with the first one. Omnichannel is the new standard. Of course, people aren't against meeting, engaging with salespeople and so on, but it's the mix. Yeah. And now we are not talking about making, it's the mix that sometimes for recurring orders, you just want to do it online, and maybe for, when you have problems or when there's a big frame agreement, then you want to talk to someone, which also makes it, as a salesperson, previously sometimes you could just, you were basically an order receiver, and now I would say that job has become even more advanced because the simple order handling is done online, and the hard things, the hard projects, we want to do, can you increase quality in your product? We're going to have a joint development product, all these things. That's what you need to cater for. So that's one of the things that going omnichannel is the new standard. Yeah. What is more?
And B2B says that omnichannel works, as you mentioned, and it surpasses the past approaches as have been previously. So it's 8 out of 10 B2B decision makers say that they prefer omnichannel as the more effective than traditional methods. Yeah. So it's grown quite sharply through the past year, and I think perhaps it's also an effect of the pandemic that has fueled this.
Yeah, and what we can, number 3, what we can also see is that when companies that were in this survey, they also said that we are looking more for hybrid sales reps. So 64% had the intention of increasing the hybrid sales reps. So meaning that you work with both, you spend time on the valuable sales and less time on making recurring orders and so on. So you have hybrid sales reps, and that was something that many see was important.
Yeah, and the fourth being then that e-commerce was the most popular route to the market for most B2B companies. And as we mentioned, it marginally outpaced in person now. So there is as much as 41% of the leaders says that it's the most effective sales route, and outbeating in person then is 37%. Yeah.
And I think I talked previously about the omnichannel, and I really think that is the thing. I think you're gonna do both. It's the same. What do we see in B2C? Yeah, people do commerce, but a lot of the B2C companies, they want to have pop-up stores. They want to have customers event. They want to do the omnichannel. They want to give a digital experience. But then when they meet customers in person, customers demand a lot more today from walking into a clothing store than what they did. Like 10 years ago, if you just had a clothing store on a good corner in a city, you would get visitors. That's not happening today. Customers expect more. And this is kind of what we see in B2B, this omnichannel way that you expect good digital. And when you talk to somebody and actually have an interaction, you expect that to be really good, actually.
Yeah, we see a lot of examples of that, but from the sales staff using with the e-commerce solution on their first customer visit, and they had the customer account and the credit limit, and they put up some prerequisite lists, etc., that the customer can use, and they place the first order together, and then the customer can place a reorder, etc., and work with the e-commerce solution. So there are definitely benefit of being a hybrid and working both with sales reps and e-commerce.
See the link. We're going to put up links to this survey because it's actually really fun to read.
Yeah, okay. And as always, if you want to talk B2B, please reach out. Feel free to comment both bad and good things, and have a stellar Thursday, and thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.